Hey everybody, before I get started on this Let's Play, I wanted to give a big thank you to Monkey Farm. I was watching his Let's Play episode 41 from the Third World series entitled Sweet Sweet Sugar. In that series, he used a daylight sensor and converted it into a pulse. That is where I got the inspiration for my build. Even though these builds are unrelated, I did want to give him a big thanks. So, alright, let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Cool Guys Who Sit at Home. This is Aaron bringing you a tutorial. So I've been working on a fully automated chicken farm, one that does not rely on a giant tower of spiderweb. I wanted it to be much more compact and a bit simpler. Also, getting the Silk Touch shears is quite annoying. So I wanted an option where I didn't need to do that. So what I came up with is a 2-day timer. And today I'm going to be showing you how to build the 2-day timer. So first I'm going to demonstrate how this works. So we have a daylight sensor, which goes into a redstone pulse, which flips a RS NOR latch, which opens another sensor using a piston. And then on day 2, this sensor will activate another redstone pulse, which then you can use that pulse to turn things on and off, and it will also flip the RS NOR latch back to day 1 position, meaning that every 2 days you will get a nice pulse. So let's go ahead and put these blocks back. We are in day 1 position, so we're going to go ahead and fast forward to night, and we can watch this in action. Alright. We are in night, and what we're going to see is that we're going to get a pulse coming from here. It's going to go into here, and it's going to open this block. So there you have it. Day 1 is over, and now our second light sensor has been revealed. So we're going to fast forward into day 2. So we're going to go to 0. You can see that nothing activated. Everything is still open. Now we're going to go to night 2. And what's going to happen is we're going to get a redstone pulse from here, which is okay because it's not going to do anything. We're going to get a redstone pulse from here, which is going to flip the RS NOR latch, closing this back off, and then we can use that same signal to power devices. So there we go. It's closed and we're good. So I'm going to show you how to build this. It's going to take up an area approximately 12 long by 9 wide, and at its maximum about 5 high. If you're building this underground, it's a lot easier because you don't have to worry as much about blocking off the light. So we are going to need a daylight sensor. And I'll show you really quick approximately how many items you will need for this. Of course, it may vary depending on how far away this is from whatever you're powering, but you'll need 3 sticky pistons, 2 blocks of redstone, 2 daylight sensors, a minimum of 5 redstone torches, and a minimum of 17 red dust, as well as probably about a stack of blocks. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take these out because we don't need them. First thing we're going to do is put down our daylight sensor, and I'm going to set the time back to 0 so we have better visibility. Then we're going to put down a comparator, and the comparator will give us power based on whether this sensor is reading light or not. Then we're going to go ahead and put 1 piece of redstone dust down. Now we're going to make our first pulse. You will put that into a redstone torch, which will power off. It will invert it. And we're going to put down our first sticky piston. So once nighttime comes, this is no longer giving power. The redstone torch will activate for a brief second and give us a nice pulse. At the end of that, we're going to put a redstone block, then some dust, and we're going to go into another inverter. This second inverter is going to go into our RS NOR latch. So we're going to go ahead and put 1 more redstone dust down. And now we're going to our NOR latch. To make an RS NOR latch, you put 1 block, put a block in the middle, put a block right there. So you have a 3x3 area. Take the block out of the middle. On the right hand side of your first block, put a torch. On the left-hand side of your second block, put another torch, and then wire those bad boys together, like so. So this is your NOR latch. So when you put power in one side, it will flip. Essentially, it does the exact same thing as a lever, on and off, except levers have to be operated manually, and this can be operated by redstone input, buttons, all sorts of things can operate these. So now, from here, we are going to go ahead and go to our second daylight sensor. So we're going to do a piece of redstone, followed by another block, and we're going to invert it. So this will be in the off position right now, which means that we're going to put our block that's going to cover the sensor, and the sensor will actually go here because we are in day 2 mode. This is off. Now we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. We're building another pulse, so we're going to put down a comparator, redstone, redstone torch, and our second or third sticky piston, and now another block of redstone. And right underneath this block of redstone is where we are going to be drawing our power for whatever machine that we're going to be using, as well as flipping our NOR latch back into the day 1 position. So we're going to put a piece of redstone, and then we're going to invert it. And the reason why we're inverting it right here is because we're going to have to completely cover this so that it's light tight. And pistons do bleed light. They are not 100% blocked out. So if we had to leave this open and ran redstone, you can get light up in here, and that will mess up your timer. So we need to make sure that this is going to be completely light tight, and we'll do that by simply filling in this whole area with blocks. Again, if you're doing this underground, it is a bit easier. If you're doing it above ground, you might have to do a little bit of testing to make sure that you are getting it completely blocked out from light. We can see we have a hole under there. That's going to be a problem. So we need to make sure that it's filled in on the bottom as well. And I'm going to do more blocks rather than less. You know what? I'm actually going to do this in yellow so it's a little bit easier to see. Alright, so I broke a piece of redstone out. I need to replace that. Just going to go on this block right here, which will turn our torch off as soon as we replace the block. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to build this out of yellow. And again, you can replace the wool with pretty much whatever material you want. You know, you need to use the redstone blocks, doesn't matter. You can make this into a building. You could hide it underground, so long as this has at least one block of a clear view of daylight. Otherwise, it won't work. So yeah, this is probably enough to keep it covered, but I'm going to add more just to be super sure that we don't have any light bleeding in. And then of course I need to leave one block open, and we are in the open position. So now we need to wire this back up to our NOR latch. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Piece of redstone there, piece of redstone here. We're going to bring the redstone all the way back over to our NOR latch. And just to make sure that this NOR latch, because this will activate both on day 1 and day 2, and we want to make sure that it actually flips, we're going to need to put a repeater, and we're going to put it on 3 ticks, and that will make sure that this signal comes in second and always flips the RS NOR latch. Now we can use this signal here as well to power whatever device we want. In my case, it's going to be the killing chamber of my automatic chicken farm. However, I'm sure there's a bunch of other uses for it. You can use it for pretty much any animal because they all need 1 day to grow, and this will guarantee that you at least get that 1 day. Alright, so let's go ahead and test it. So we are in the mode of the end of day 2, so we should be able to activate this with a little pulse. Let's go to time, set 13,390, and we will wait for our pulse, which will reset this to day 1. All right, there we go. So as you can see, the NOR latch flipped. The area is now closed. And we had a nice little pulse that goes into whatever device we want. So my next tutorial will be the full chamber. It's going to be a automatic chicken farm that does not rely on spider webs. So I have a couple versions of it built. This is the one that's probably going to be in my Let's Play world using nether brick and glass. Chickens hang up there, shoot their eggs into this area, and then it's piston powered, and at the end of day 2 I will activate these pistons. All the chickens that were hatched on day 1 will be fully grown. They'll go into the fire and they'll burn up, and what you'll find is that you're going to need probably a lot of chickens up there in order to make sure you have enough to get a good food supply, but you can fit a lot of chickens in a small space. So we'll have more on that later. I'm going to be building it in my Let's Play world as well as doing a tutorial. I'll give you a brief look at the tutorial spawner. Here it is. You can see all the different parts. Right here we have our chicken in the water. We have our maturation chamber where they grow up and they get pushed out by pistons. And then we have our cooker. This is where all your goodies will come. And then above it, part 4, the 2-day timer. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing this full build. It's pretty cool. Let me know if you have any comments. I also know this thing can definitely be compacted much smaller, maybe about half the size, but twice the height. But I don't really think it's too big right now, so that's okay. You can see I've been doing some experimenting on making it a lot smaller. Still have some work to do on that, but I'm happy with this design so far, as it does seem to be working pretty well. So until next time, this has been Cool Guys Who Sit at Home, and I hope you enjoy my first tutorial. Thanks. Bye.